Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about Facebook employees. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, hi Frederick, I've heard that Facebook employees hate their job. What's the point of learning coding and then becoming like them? Well, you don't really have to work for Facebook if you don't want to. And I'm pretty sure that this is the sort of thing that you've heard on, well, I'll give you this one piece of advice. Get off TikTok or whatever social media platform that you're hearing these things from, because it's skewing your objectivity, it seems. So just think about this. Are you saying that all Facebook employees, and I'm assuming now we're just talking software developers, they all hate their job? How would you know? Has there been a poll somewhere? Maybe there has been. Do you like working at Facebook? And then it came out majority of people hate working there. Well, if the majority of people are actually, well, they basically hate working there, well, then the only reason I can imagine that they would be staying there would be because the pay is really good or the job market is so shit that they don't have any other options. And I mean, if you made exactly the same poll to a bunch of different industries, I'm pretty sure you would get up to the same sort of, you would probably get the same sort of findings. I'm pretty sure that the people who work minimum wage or where you have jobs that are pretty rough overall, there's going to be some people who really like that. And there's going to be a whole bunch of people who don't really like it, but they do it because of reasons. I have friends and family who work jobs that sometimes are really, really nice. And usually the reason why they like their job has very little to do with the tasks themselves. It has to do with the people that they work with. And so, what I like to suggest is that regardless of what job you have, there are going to be things that make it all something that you at least can endure doing. But honestly, I think that whether or not you should learn coding, and the fact that you're asking me if you should learn coding because apparently Facebook employees don't like their job, like, I hope you understand that software development is a lot bigger than that one company. Why would you become like a Facebook employee? Like, we're talking millions of opportunities for work within the software industry. And there's really nothing I would say from your question here that indicates that you have you don't seem to have a basic understanding of, okay, what possible reason would these people have for not liking their job? I guess it's the coding. So you're saying that they don't like their job and the reason being because they don't like coding. Well, that seems kind of counterintuitive, because if you do actually invest and learn how to do software development, I'm pretty gosh darn sure that at some level you're going to have to like doing it. You can hate absolutely your working environment and the stakeholders and the pressure, and like there's a million things that are not so nice about developing software, but the coding itself, I'm finding it very difficult to think that you literally hate the coding itself. And if you do, then, like, well, clearly why would you learn coding? Like, that would make no sense. And maybe you started out liking coding and now you hate it, and there's a bunch of reasons. And what I like to tell people is that usually it's not the coding itself that is the problem. Usually the problem lies in the environment that you find yourself in. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that Facebook is a place where you might find a lot of people who are unhappy. Well, and as I said, go to another company. There's quite a lot of companies out there who that might have a better fit for you. It might be a better fit for you. But definitely, if the thing that you don't like is spending most of your time in front of a computer, spending a lot of time trying to work with varying degrees of software developer skills. Some people are really, really good. Some people are not so good at their job, and you're gonna have to get along with everybody in one way or another. Or if, say, you don't like fixing bugs or having, in many cases, deadlines or things like that, like these things are not necessarily exclusive to our industry, and I hope that is very obvious, but these things are part of our industry and the work that you do practically every single day. If these things are things that you believe is going to lead to you hating your job, then yeah, software development is not for you whatsoever. But then I would pose the question, well, what did you think it was about? Because there is no job that I know of, at the very least, that don't have at least a few of these sorts of things. As I said, like the thing that we do that is different is, yes, we are writing software, but bad work environments, deadlines, stakeholders, or like different types of coworkers that you may or may not like, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that that is part of practically every job that you're ever going to have. And there's a whole bunch of other things that might factor in that may not be so enjoyable to you. And that's pretty much work life. And so whether or not you're going to learn coding, and if you, as I said, if you don't want to become like a Facebook employee who hates your job, then you fundamentally have to ask yourself the question. The heart and soul of software development is to write software for some stakeholder or for some reason that is going to bring some type of value. If that core thing isn't enough for you, then yeah, I would suggest don't learn how to code, because if you don't like that part, then I'm pretty sure nothing else is going to weigh it up. There's nothing else going on, in as far as I'm concerned, within our industry that would make that part durable. It would be the same thing as going to any job where you literally hate the tasks that the whole thing is about, like carpentry or being a nurse or being a police officer, like whatever. Like there's these core things, they're part of everyday life for whatever profession you have. And if that's the part that you hate, well, you can't really control that part. Then you're definitely not supposed to be doing that. So what I want you to take away from this is that first and foremost, I would say that you start thinking a little bit, instead of, I'm assuming here, just taking what some person has said somewhere, and this one included, and do some rational thinking. So you're saying to me that every Facebook employee hates their job. I find that very difficult to believe, because there's quite a lot of people working for Facebook. But let's say that you are right, that on average they don't like their job. Then the first question you should ask yourself is it the coding that is the problem, or is it the company itself? That's a pretty good question, I would say. Because absolutely, if you don't like coding, or the people who took the Facebook job did it for the classic reason, I need a career, I don't really care about anything, and I want to make good money. Standard, very standard mental thing, like the mentality of someone who really is just in it for the money, and it doesn't really matter where they're getting it from. Then yeah, you're probably not going to like coding, because being a programmer is about software development, and it's about coding practically every single day. Then yes, don't become like a Facebook employee. But if the factors that you can control, like if we just assume that the coding part itself is pretty okay, well, there's a bunch of companies, there's a bunch of different projects, there's tons and tons of opportunities out there, probably more than on the average if you compare it to quite a lot of different industries. So I wouldn't say that you should just put software development off the table because you've heard that in one company people don't like their job. I've worked in quite a lot of different companies, and I would say that as long as you're okay with the fact that you're writing software, the happiness is usually there. There are absolutely people who don't like their job, and they usually don't like it for the reasons that I have mentioned. But I would say on average, I find more people who at least enjoy some parts of their job as a software developer than I find people who just hate everything about it. Have a great day.